Hello again, everyone, and welcome to this PowerPoint presentation on why pencils are better than pens. This is a simple explanation, because I know you're very tired of all those complex explanations on why pencils are better than pens that you just don't understand because the terms go over your head. But hopefully this will dumb things down and make things easy for anyone to understand. So pencils and pens have been competing for superiority for centuries. We all know this. Pens are cold-blooded murderers. The ink is used from animal blood and stuff, and the people that make them, they ruthlessly slay these creatures. And the amazing gentle being who does nothing but good. He humbly sheds his graphite amongst the paper variety, and if you ever make a mistake, he's glad to help you fix it. This thing, you make a mistake, you gotta live with that, and you gotta see it forever. Just so unruly. Some simple facts. Pencils can erase, yes, it's one benefit. Pens can't. Pencils can shade. Pens can't. Pencils don't spill ink and make messes everywhere. You ever break a pencil? No problem. You have two pencils now. You can sharpen the broken end of the other side, and you got even three if you sharpen the side that already has a point on the other's end. Pens do make messes everywhere, though. Pencils are cheaper than pens in the price sense, because you get a pencil, you're not being cheap, you're being efficient. Pencils can be used in space. Yes, they can. Pens, no. You try to write something. The substance that comes out of pens, the ink, it's not dense enough to stay on the paper, so it just floats off. But the graphite is plenty dense. Normal pens can't be used in space. Just won't work it. Captain Commander Sloth, the most famous astronaut space bomber in the Great Writing Utensil War of 1794. He used simple pens in space, while the pens had to spend millions of dollars on special space pens. Yeah, see, this guy, he knows how to be effective with his money, and he's a innovator in this sense. He's trying to bring back the use of pencils in all types of situations, like signing documents. You don't need to be permanent with that. You can be just have a good time with a pencil. The one advantage pens have, you don't have to sharpen them. Yeah, this is where pen fans always boast in our face. I mean, you don't have to deal with the hassle of getting a pen or dealing with a pencil that dulls quickly, and then you gotta find a pencil sharpener. And if you get a crappy pencil sharpener, you have to get a pocket knife or something, whittle that. And pens don't deal with that. But we'll find out why pencils are still have a huge lead in the industry later on. Against all of the pencil's advantages, doesn't that seem minuscule and worthless? Yeah, we'll see this come into play later. Many wars in history were secretly started between pens and pencils. The Romans, pens. There's the pens, the Romans, and the pens, the Romans and the pens. You ever hear that chant sometimes? Now you know why. The Crusaders, pens. The Crusaders, they wanted people to sign their Christian treaties with pens because they wanted to be permanent, but they didn't open up for a chance of, open-mindedness, and that's one of their drawbacks. The British in the American Revolution, they're awesome now. Pens, the British have really toned down in their forcefulness in trying to bring pens into people's lives. But I mean, back in the war, they were just like, the pens are coming, the pens are coming, and it frightened everyone in the villages. The South, in the Civil War, pens, yep. The Civil War, always in the pen stuff. Civil as in, I'm gonna civil pens, that kind of stuff. The Nazis, pens, Heil pens, that goes down. Pen slaveth, I think that's what they said. Al Qaeda, that's it's kind of off the slide right there. Whoops. But anyway, yeah, they're shooting these. What do you think these are full of? Gunpowder? No, full of ink. Yeah, they want pens all in your markets. The great writing utensils, the Great Writing Utensil War of 1794. The most infamous war started between pens and pencils, however, was the Great Writing Utensil War of 1794, the exclusive war to pens and pencils. It wasn't to do with any type of economy, dispute between trade or any of that, um, foreign policy type of deal. None of that was coming into play, and it was all between pens and pencils. That was it. That was the only conflict in this war. Total casualties of this war, including pens, pencils, humans, aliens, and anything else, is somewhere upwards of the 13 quadrillion. This is astronomical, and you cannot replace this. I mean, the majority of it was Penn's death, or the death of Penn's, and that really influenced the hate towards Penn's later on because of just the drop in their superiority gave the pencils a large chance to get in the spotlight. If the pencils had invented ships capable of traveling to other galaxies when this war started, that wasn't until the 1860s. You remember that big industrial revolution. The destruction would have been much more widespread. Yeah, can you imagine if, like, Mercury were to be inked? That would have just been awful. This is a pencil tank. You can see it shoots from the little slit in the circumference of the barrel, because it like shaves it. The barrel goes inward, and then it drops these little mines for people to step on and be like, oh, that was kind of inconvenient. So yeah, that's kind of a good thing for the enemy. Standard pencil foot soldier using a mouse as a weapon. Yeah, this is the pencil is the soldier itself, and it's gonna like swing the mouse around its ankle and then launch it at someone, and the mouse will bite it. The pen battle mech, yeah, this will like spring upwards, and it'll probably shoot a laser depending on its mood and the environment. If it senses like immediate metal alloys, it only attracts to itself. That's one of the drawbacks of it, but usually people are armed with some sort of metal. Dead pen foot soldier. Now, sorry if this is too graphic. I just really want to get home that that a good pen is a dead pen, and you need to see what good is. Areas affected by the Great Writing Utensil War of 1794, shown in red. Yeah, look at all this. They just scribbled all over. They almost got away with, intergalactic genocide, and that would have been just awful. So we're really glad that this got stopped in the early years of the war, and then we just had most of it take place on Earth. So the victors, the pencils of the war. At the end of the long war, lasting until 1847, the pencils had won, but it was not a very happy victory. Countless pencils and pen lives had been lost, as well as the lives of those who helped either side in the war, and even a larger number of bystander fatalities. Pencils had proved their dominance, but was it worth it? Do you think so? Let's decide in the future slides. Captain Commander Sloth had won the war by leading a charge of 279 spaceships to destroy the Penn's version of the Death Star, the Ink Star. The Ink Star shot planets with giant ink guns, flooding the whole thing, essentially wiping out all life. Captain Commander Sloth managed to finish off the Ink Star with a graphite blast just before his ship was inked to pieces. He is one of the many fatalities in the war. It's a brave loss, and I'm sorry, I get a little choked up when I think about this, and he was good. He was good. I won't forget him. With the destruction of the Ink Star, the pens were heavily outpowered and cornered in the pens' home planet, No Erasteron, where they where they surrendered, and the pen leader was forced to give oral pleasure to the pencil leader. Very disturbing. But oral in the sense is like a pencil sharpener going in a pencil. It's nothing you don't see every day at school or something. The one reason pencils defeated the pens: pencils can fix their mistakes. Very clever, if I must say. Pencils, they, you know, it's more of a metaphorical speaking, because pencil erasers can't actually erase the ink of the pen, but their psyche, it plays around the pen's drawbacks and their flaws, and where they have doubts, the pens have where the pens have doubts, the pencils have confidence. Though they have a long and bloody history, pencils and pens are much more civil now. Though there are some extremist pencils in pen groups, they are generally among much more civil now. After the Atari 2600 debuted, they started to settle disagreements in more bro-like ways. Video games, they playing that up. They playing some Smash Bros. They playing some Halo 2. Halo 2, they think, is the best in the franchise. I don't know if I agree with that. I haven't played all of them, but since then, peace has settled upon them. Some are becoming close friends, roommates, or even interbreeding. Though this is not recommended, it can cause some of the some of the offspring to have 3 toes when they should only have 2, so they can get made fun of, or even have a missing artery that could be major. Pencils and pens' favorite games to complete with are Super Smash Bros., Mario Party, and Mario Kart. See, I mentioned Super Smash Bros. Earlier, and Halo 2 they play every now and then, but their favorites are really the Smash Bros., Mario Party, and Mario Kart. They're huge Nintendo fans, especially ones that have that famous punter in them. This is a pencil-pen hybrid. You can see, you can see right here it has 3 toes. It should only have 2. It's not uncommon for them to have more legs, though. Like any pens breeding with pens, pencils breeding with pencils can have multiple legs. It all depends on their genealogy. But this is really, see this, it's all loose and curvy, and it's just going to be really effective for writing and getting the thoughts of the user down. So it's just not going to be, handy, and it's going to be a real pain to keep in your backpack, because it'll probably have a heartbeat for some reason, and it'll claw out and try to escape and cause havoc on the world. We hope you enjoyed this presentation, and that now you know why pencils are easily better than pens. They're good friends, and pens, they steal their blood from the enemies, and but things are starting to settle down, and they're starting to be open. But pencils, I'm sorry to say, are more effective. But pens, in terms of manners, pencils and pens are about equal now. But let's be honest, these things have erasers, so feel free to go speedrun an essay with pencil, and you can make as many mistakes as you want and fix them later. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a good day. Bing bang goodbye.